Hello, my name is Jason Francis, and today we will be speaking about the sociology of sport. More specifically, we're going to take a look at culture, social interaction, and social structure, and see how they all intersect sport by and large. Here's an anecdote. In 1997, a college student by the name of Max Perelman traveled to China. So Max was situated about 1,500 miles outside of Beijing in a very remote and rural place called Sichuan. In Sichuan, there lived many Tibetan monks, and their lifestyle was very secluded from mainstream society as they lived in very mountainous areas. So one day on a hike, Max encountered some of the Tibetan monks, and in his backpack, Max had a variety of paraphernalia, which included magazines and a camera. And so when the monks started to examine the camera and they started to ask how to use this type of device, trying to figure out what exactly it was, they began reading or looking through the covers of his magazines. Then they asked him a very interesting question. How is Michael Jordan doing? And here's an image of Michael Jordan and one of his best-selling sneakers. And this sneakers, it retails for upwards of $140. It depends on the edition. But why I chose to show Michael Jordan and this image is to really cement the fact that sport has the power to unite people. Sport has the power to bring about awareness to even the people who are most secluded. Culture. So when we think about culture, take a look at the culture in Sioux City, Iowa, maybe the culture in New York City, the culture in all 50 states, how they differ and even how they're similar to some degree. And so what is it? It's a shared way of living. Cultures used to understand each other as we commune, as we fellowship, as we engage in dialogue and work, and as we just try to get by with each other. The foundation of athlete sponsorship is a prime example of culture. And so in this image, we see a Greek and a Roman soldier. Note that Greek athletes in their day, they got some form of financial compensation for participation in things such as the Olympic Games, or the Roman soldiers when they were sponsored by public figures such as Caesar. Caesar gained more public influence, right? So we have to understand that the culture of the Greeks and the Romans, in some degree, it was shaped by sport. And remember, the soldiers, the athletes, they were looked upon in society as people to be sort of revered and reverent. Social interaction. So think about today's society. How do we interact? A lot of it comes through social media. So think about Twitter, WhatsApp, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and the list goes on and on. The important takeaway about social interaction is that social media users have the power to influence, right? They have the power to tap into one's psychology and create some type of dynamic, right? And this is used primarily when it comes to even selling products. So let's take a look at endorsement. So this gentleman here, His name is Cristiano Ronaldo, a famous soccer player from Portugal and Juventus. And so he has over 1 billion followers on Instagram. And so if he's endorsing a product, right? Nike sponsors him and he's endorsing their product. Nike is winning because most of his followers are being influenced by him. So they'll in turn go out and buy Nike products or buy the specific cleat. And in turn, Nike is able to generate more revenue. And so does Cristiano Ronaldo for endorsing the product. Social structure. And so think about how we work, how we live, how we play to some degree. And what I have here before you is an image of an Egyptian pyramid. I won't get too much into each segment of the pyramid, but let's look at the very bottom where we see farmers and slaves. Their role is already predestined to some degree in society. And then when at the top we see Pharaoh, Pharaoh is leading his people, providing a vision for his people. And so this is very key in understanding a certain type of order in society, in this case, the Egyptian society. And when there is a certain type of order, it gives the people an understanding how they should work, how they should live, and continue to develop as a society. And so when we think about structure, let's ask ourselves this question: why do sports exist? A famous sociologist who studies sport by the name of Jay Coakley, he emphasized that these are areas in sport that we should take heed to in terms of its existence: power and performance. So think about engaging in sport to become stronger, faster, more intelligent, so one can win championships, from winning an athletic conference to winning the Super Bowl to winning the World Cup or an Olympic gold medal. These athletes are engaging in sports for power and performance. Then we have pleasure and participation. Think about that child who is looking for a form of escapism during the pandemic and just wants to get outdoors to perhaps shoot some hoops, even play some frisbee, play tag, or get involved in some form of recreation just for the cause of participation. So these people are doing it for pure pleasure or enjoyment and participation, to engage in something. So these are the reasons why people engage in sports, and by and large, the realities as to why sport exists, if we were to just break it down on two scales. Next question: why do we study sports? So sport is significant, right? People get to engage in activities, people get to come together and have a bond, right? Because of the activities. Sport also reinforces ideas and beliefs, right? Maybe your local high school team or your college, they just won a championship and they were underdogs and they got right to the final and they won. It instills a sense of belief into people, right? So sport is important because it is part and parcel of our society. So it's important that we study sport to understand how it can uplift society, how it can uplift people and help them transcend various barriers. Sport is woven into family. Think about the banter we have again around the World Series or Super Bowl. Think about religion and sport. So in Brazil, soccer is known as a religion. Education, think about sport management programs and how it is becoming a broader academic setting for many institutions and students alike. Think about the economy and sports, right? Think job creation, four key revenue streams in sports: merchandise, media rights, sponsorship, ticket sales. Think about politics, right? Bidding to perhaps host an Olympic Games, and technology, data analytics, placing value on players. And speaking of value, these are just three simple areas of how we can define value in sport. So you can read what a parent might ask, what a community leader might ask, and what school principals might ask. And so each individual places a different value on sport, and how this value is seen, it can give a positive response, i.e. yes, or a negative response, no, in terms of the value. And if no one sees value in sport, unfortunately, they may not want to proceed with a particular sport. And so we're down to the end here, and I have two questions for us to ponder upon, and I hope I do get the opportunity when I see everyone to engage or unpack the question. So the first one is, will females be allowed to play sports? And if they are, will they play the same sport at the same time and on the same teams that males play? And will the rewards for achievement be the same for females and males? And the last question, will sports be open to people regardless of social class and wealth? Will wealthy and poor people play and watch sports together or separately? This concludes my presentation. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon.